Hello everyone and welcome back to Movies with Michael. With the upcoming DC film The Flash, it looks like the DC Extended Universe is being thrown away to make way for its reboot. Now, as a larger fan of Warner Brothers' attempt at an interconnected universe of films than most, I'll admit for the most part they have blown it. Looking back though, it is awesome to see the potential that the DCEU had, and I see this the most in the trilogy of films directed by Zach Snyder that served as the trunk of the tree of films that were to come. Either they got made in the end or not. To begin this discussion, here's my review of the 2013 film that started it all, Man of Steel. Right out of the gate, it's clear that this film is going for a more serious and conversational approach to the comic book genre, rather than simply action and adventure fun like the MCU was and still very much is. Don't get me wrong, Man of Steel still very much is an action film with tons of explosions, but it becomes a more complex movie before those scenes can happen. The film does spend a good deal of time developing Krypton and its society and leaders. I like that the movie does this because it sets up how Jor-El saw how Krypton's ways had failed and that he needed his son Kal to be in opposition to it. On Earth's side, we get Kal-El's development as Clark Kent and how his different experiences with his unique abilities growing up and his simple life as a farmer shaped the man he would be in the film's present. Through this, we get a compare and contrast that the film is doing between Krypton and Earth, or rather, the society of Krypton versus the human society that Clark Kent grew up in. Seeing all of this makes sense so that we know the character of Clark Kent as he is becoming the Superman. Yes, because he's not Superman yet. Actually, he isn't Superman really in this movie at all. I'll specify more on this in a later video, but let's talk about how the movie portrays the character. I know that I'm young among comic book fans, but I still know that Henry Cavill's portrayal of the last son of Krypton is a much more serious approach than most previous adaptations. This is not Superman that goes around saving cats from trees and smiling all the time. This Superman is trying to navigate his place in the world and trying to answer the big questions. This is what Man of Steel does. It puts Clark Kent into these very serious and intense situations where we get to see him shape his code and what makes him Superman. The movie doesn't arbitrarily give him the Superman code of morality as an inherent attribute. Clark Kent's biggest test for this is his conflict with his fellow Kryptonians and their leader, General Zod, played by Michael Shannon. From his first scene, it's clear to the viewer that Zod is not a sympathetic villain, despite what he himself might claim. He isn't cartoonishly evil, though. We know exactly why he is doing what he is doing and how he won't let anything stop him. He is the film's personification of Krypton's failed society, the society of only predetermined roles and no choice. This, of course, makes him a direct antagonist for the Man of Steel. In those confrontational scenes, Zach Snyder and his team give us some great action scenes between the film's superpowered beings. Even if there is a ton of explosions, we can still see what is going on in every action scene, whether it's the Smallville fight or the final battle of Metropolis. Something also that Snyder decided to do with his DC films from the get-go is try his best to do the, if this happened, here's how it would go down. Yes, if two beings like Superman and Zod fought with each other in a city, this is what would happen. Now, one of the most infamous criticisms of this film's final fight is Superman killing Zod to save a group of people that were not getting out of the way of Zod's heat vision. As stated above, Kal has not fully developed any code for himself as Superman, but we can see he does not want to kill Zod at all. He screams to Zod, begging him to stop, but it's no use. Zod told him and us the only way this fight would end earlier.
There's only one way this ends, Kal. Either you die, or I do.
And he also made it clear that
I'm going to make them suffer, Kal. These humans you've adopted. I will take them all from you one by one.
As for me, I think that having Kal kill Zod to save others is a great way not only to build the character in the context of this new set of films, but also to challenge any preconceived notions of what we would think Superman can and can't do against his villains. I also love how this made Zod a truly evil antagonist, one who knew exactly how evil his actions were and didn't care. Man of Steel was released to an audience that was not ready for it and was shocking to many because of it. The film, despite having a straightforward plot, deals with concepts and morals that are anything but simple. I'm not against comic book films that try to entertain and give you a fun time, but that doesn't mean I'll reject a movie that tries to make me think about a situation's right and wrong. Zack Snyder's take on Superman's origins in the first DCEU film is a fantastic comic book movie with a great cast, plot, and score, and I think is still overlooked to this day. I will give Man of Steel a 9 out of 10. And with that, we made it to the end of another video. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and please remember to leave a like, comment down below what you think about Man of Steel, and subscribe for more content about movies. That's all for now, and I'll see you all in my next video where I review Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And I'll see you all then.